Good morning. We are looking today at chapter 10 of Hebrews and verse 24. No, 24. Yes, 24. The writer has just said to us, "Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful." We thought about that yesterday. He who promised is faithful. I love singing songs that talk about the faithfulness of God. We've had one recently that talks about, "All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good." And that is my testimony, that since I was 14 and a half, when I first came to faith in Jesus, personal faith, God has been faithful. And my life has been very up and down at times. Lots of things have happened to me. You may look at me and think, well, nothing bad has ever happened to you. You don't know the half of it. But God has been faithful, and he has brought me through every single one of the challenges and difficulties that I have faced. All my life he has been faithful. He who promised is faithful. Our eternal salvation, our forgiveness and everything else does not rest on us. It rests on God, who doesn't change and who is faithful. Above all things, he is faithful. And verse 24 says, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works." Now, I don't know what you think about that, but I can say hand on heart that apart from when I'm preaching or talking like this, in ordinary conversation with other believers, even in my own church, there's not much of my time spent in stirring up other people to do good things for the Lord, to show love to other people, to live out their lives. That's something perhaps to think about today. Let us consider. That is, let's think about. Let's think about. Let's give it some consideration. Think about, how can you stir someone else up to love and good works? That's something that's very alien to our culture. I think we don't think in that sort of way, do we? We think, well, if I say anything to anybody about their life or their lifestyle or how they live or what they're doing, they might take offense. But the writer here feels it's very important that as we journey together as Christians, and it is a journey together as Christians, we need to be able to stir one another up to love and good works. Not in a critical way. I mean, our approach should never be, well, you haven't done much yet, have you? So how about doing something? But there are some, it's almost the way many of our churches are formed, that those who do things in the church are a very small minority as opposed to those who do not. It's the same in every group. I mean, in our U3A group in Chard, we have, at the moment, something like 350 members, I think it is. And it's hard to find 6 or 7 people to sit on the committee. It's hard. Every time there's a vacancy on the committee, it's hard. And it's evident in the street pastors. I was at the meeting on Monday evening of the street pastors in Chard, and the street pastors group was wound up because those who are on the committee have served on the committee for a long time, and those who've been trustees have served as trustees for a long time. And without those people and a coordinator in place, according to the rules of the Charities Commission, the street pastors in Chard cannot continue. And so it was wound up on Monday night. I was very sad, but it had served for nearly 11 years in Chard, on the streets every Saturday night, two as a minimum, but mostly 4, maybe 5 or 6 going out on the streets, and a minimum of 2 back at base praying for them. But it was impossible to find anyone willing to take on any of those roles in all the churches in Chard. And that makes me very sad. that there is, there doesn't seem to be. We need to stir up. We need to wake up to the fact that we have opportunities. We have new opportunities. There are new ways to serve God. There are new ways in this post-pandemic world we live in. There are new ways to reach people, new ways to use for the kingdom. And we mustn't, I mean, this whole lockdown thing and this, it slowed us all down terribly. And it's hard to stir ourselves up. And we need to stir each other up to do things, to live out our life in this world as we bear witness to what Jesus has done for us. It's a lot to think about. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.